They were aimed at helping both policymakers and practitioners to consider the policies and strategies which their services were intended to support. The guidelines gave recommendations on how to achieve these goals. Finally, the guidelines identified key issues which needed to be examined in order to develop library services. The Calimera guidelines followed on from the Pullman project and provided policymakers and library professionals with an accurate and relevant summary of state-of-the-art use of new technologies. The Calimera guidelines explain in a clear manner how new technologies could be set up in order to develop the best possible digital services to meet users' needs. As Rob mentioned earlier today, the Entitle project falls under EU's Lifelong Learning Programme and the Transversal Programme's key activity 4 about dissemination and exploitation of project results. In the Entitle project application, one of the main objectives of the project was therefore determined as to identify, describe, and disseminate the many instances of good practice, specific services, tools, and approaches used for learning in public library settings by building on work conducted under a number of different actions. The aim of the guidelines focuses on informal learning settings in libraries and the library's role in promoting lifelong learning and combating digital exclusion, as well as information illiteracy and social exclusion. We also recommended that the partners constantly keep in mind when writing that these guidelines are meant to be used both by libraries but also museums and archives. In the target group for the guidelines is quite large, consisting of children, adults, and vocational learners. In September 2008, we received the first guideline drafts from the various partners. The process of editing and commenting on the draft guideline was carried out by us, Aarhus Public Libraries, in cooperation with the partners EUN.
But we know, for example, every year in the UK we run a survey for children about their satisfaction with public libraries. And children's satisfaction with public libraries is very, very high, very high. It usually comes out around something like 97, 98%. So if you've got a figure of 64%, actually when you're comparing that with other people, then there may be some alarm bells that need to start ringing. So there's something about, you need to think about what would make a good percentage. You need to think about the significance of the results that you get. And there's something very much around how you analyse open-ended or qualitative data. In these cases, you need to code people's responses so that you can start to get a percentage result. And all of there's a lot of templates on the website that actually show you how to do that. So if you look at the Inspiring Learning website, it refers to a lot of tools that you can use. Okay. So the next stage is the final stage really in the framework is to present and use your findings. And the important thing I think to say there is highlight your key results. As we know, the people we really want to influence, the policy people, the funders, are very busy people. So, if you have a huge report, maybe they're not going to read it all. So, but if you produce those key results in a short executive summary, that's a really good way of hooking their interest. And just a tip from me that the way I think we have been quite successful in trying to get museums, libraries and archives embedded in policy in the UK in the last couple of years. My approach is always to look about what is it that people I'm trying to influence are interested in. So what is it that they want that we could help them to achieve? And to try and look at it from that point of view. So really you're answering the question that they already have, rather than talking perhaps from a library point of view about what's important to us. So there's something about making sure your message is the message that is going to be heard effectively. Okay. And it's important to relate your conclusions to your original hypothesis. And actually sometimes if the results of your work are very different to what you set out to do, there's lessons in that as well. So this is about a learning process for us all, and I think that's important to see it.
And we are in the capital city, and we have a purpose, and already here, well, here is the normal situation about what we should do and so on. But the most important thing from my point is that it also says that we should help people to enjoy life. So someone was speaking about enjoyment, yes, so we have it here, yes. And I feel that it's, when I speak about our library, this is the thing that I always want to speak about, because this is, I think, important, that we are there also for people as an enjoyment, and not only the other things that we are there for. We have a vision, it's a boundless library, so the library should be in people's life, all their life through, from a baby to, well, nearly to the last time, yeah. Well, you know, yeah. We should be there always with people. Just some statistics. I just want to show you the thing that is changing our lives very much, and I'm sure also in your life, is that the physical visits in our case are 6 million and a little bit more now, and the virtual visits are already more than 6 million, more than the physical visits. Today, when the recession has arrived, or come, or is our friend or enemy or whatever, anyway, there is a change, so the physical visits are growing again. But anyway, so these are two worlds today that you have to think. You have to learn to work in another way if you want to be successful in the library world. And, oh, what did I do? So, here's just a diagram where you also can see it even better that really there is today. This is the virtual visits are really coming very strongly, and they have made a change in our work, so that for our staff, it's as important to work on the net as in the physical library, so to say. Both are important. And as a result of that, we had since